Our banking halls are open every weekday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Together, we can make Harare a smart and livable city.
Enjoy real value online with TM Pick and Pay Click and Collect. It's time for the news.
Good evening and welcome to the main news. I am Tariro Manamiki with Noble Mawongwa at the Sign Language Desk.
And I'm Justin Matlatla with Bukele Maposa at our Montreal studios in Bulawayo. We'll cross over to her later on in the bulletin. Let's take a look at our leading stories tonight.
Dinson Iron and Steel Plant now operational.
The plant will be one of the biggest steel producers in Africa.
17 suspects arrested for Rossa 10 mine attack.
In sport, Zimbabwe Cricket believes new Chevron's coach Justin Summons has what it takes to nurture talent.
And now we give you the news in detail. Frelimo Acting Secretary General and presidential candidate Comrade Daniel Francisco Chapo paid a courtesy call on President Emmerson Mnangagwa at State House in Harare this Thursday. We get more from the following report.
The Frelimo delegation, led by presidential candidate Comrade Daniel Francisco Chapo, included Politburo and Central Committee members, among others. The delegation met with President Mnangagwa at State House, and the two leaders discussed the upcoming elections in Mozambique set for October this year. Speaking to journalists in Portuguese after the meeting, Comrade Chapo said ZANU-PF and Frelimo enjoy cordial relations, with two sister liberation movements seeking to share notes on mobilization of supporters ahead of the October pause.
We have always had these friendly relationships. Whenever there are elections, now there were elections in South Africa, where the ANC was running. It is a liberating party in South Africa. Frelimo was there, ZANU-PF was there, Chama Chama Pinduza was there. So, having elections in Mozambique, to answer your question, we will also have technical support in terms of mobilization, and ZANU-PF will also be present in Mozambique. Similarly, when there are elections in Zimbabwe, Frelimo has been here. There have now been elections in South Africa. ZANU-PF was in South Africa. Frelimo was in South Africa. They are broken brothers. We were born at the same time. Liberators, we are always together.
Mozambique general elections are slated for the 9th of October this year. Bruce Jawanda, ZBC News, Harare.
The Dinson Iron and Steel Plant in Manise is now operational, with the production of pig iron in full swing. Our Bureau Chief Tafaraj Kumira was in Manise this Thursday. Will give us more on the plant, which is said to be one of the biggest steel producers in Africa. That's a little later on in the bulletin. And our Vice President Kembo Mohadi has reiterated government's commitment to ensuring housing projects are completed on time and delivered to the intended beneficiaries.
Various key infrastructure development projects are underway in Matabele North provincial capital Lupane, with Vice President Kembo Mohadi embarking on an assessment tour of the projects this Thursday. The projects include government composite offices, houses and a provincial hospital.
The Lupane Civil Servant Housing Project is a milestone towards the accomplishment of moving our government departments here and fulfilling the devolution agenda. Sizosebenzela duzane labantu bethu abemathebele North.
Painting has been done, and with about 23,000 United States dollars that we require as a ministry, will be good to go to finish the houses and then to hand over them to the civil servants.
Vice President Mohadi reaffirmed government support to infrastructure development projects to ensure they are completed on time and delivered to the intended recipients.
I'm here to see for myself ukuthi lokho abasitshela khona bahlale besitshela khona ukuthi bayakwenza emaphandleni bayakwenza yini. So ngizozibonela angithi. So I would not want to see a situation whereby we go 22 years. That's not development. That's not development. If Vision 2030 itsho ukuthi khona infrastructure kumele siyakhe infrastructure siyakhele abantu bakithi. So sizakwenza lokho. Ingakakwani 20 years. Lihamba selelezindlu zenu, ama-offices zenu, isibhedlela senu, lendlu kaminister enhle.
The Second Republic has placed infrastructure development at the core of its economic and social development mandate under the National Development Strategy 1. Mhlomoli Ncube, ZBC News, Lupane.
Residents of Epworth have welcomed the new Mavazua clinic, which was constructed using devolution funds, as the Second Republic continues to transform the health sector in line with Vision 2030.
Residents of Epworth are on cloud 9 after a new clinic was constructed in the area at a time when the sick were enduring long distances to the nearest health center.
Toda kutenda hurumende yedu nezvayatiitira nevenoingi vatibatsira zvokuti kunyange mangwana atichamainzana kunoswera tiri paline tauza kuti nechipatara chedu padhuze.
It is a great thing. We thank His Excellency for affording us and opening this facility, and now it's actually furnished.
The modern clinic, which is expected to open its doors this month, received a timely boost after the National Oil Company of Zimbabwe, NOIC, handed over modern equipment, much to the delight of medical authorities.
We expect that we are going to have people who are going to come in and partner with the government in as far as construction of other healthcare facilities are concerned.
NOIC board chairperson, Air Vice Marshal retired Innocent Chiganze, said their organization supports government's vision of attaining universal health coverage.
Isitiri kufara kuti muri Epworth yana pamwe pekumhanyira kana waita matambudziko paunosvika wachiona rubatsiro rwakakodzera.
Harare Provincial Affairs and Devolution Permanent Secretary Comrade Cosmas Chirinda underscored the benefits of the devolution program.
The National Development Strategy 1 nyaya yekuwakwa kwezvipatara kuti tifambidzane nezviri mu sustainable development goals yekupa utano hwakanaka kuvanhu vedu. Tinoona kuti izvo zviri kufambirana, endiwe zvakare zviri kufambirana the mantra ya His Excellency yekuti we must not leave anyone or no place behind.
Mavazua Clinic, which was built using devolution funds, is now expected to operate at full capacity with the modern equipment. Tarai Maduyu, ZBC News, Harare.
The opposition Zimbabwe African National Congress Party has expressed confidence in President Emmerson Mnangagwa's ability to steer local and regional development. The sentiments come as the president is set to assume the chairmanship of the SADC bloc in August.
The president of the Zimbabwe African National Congress Party, Mr. Timothy Ncube, believes SADC will be in safe hands as President Mnangagwa chairs the regional bloc.
As a Zimbabwe African National Congress, after we have seen what the president is doing for Zimbabwe at the present moment in terms of development, we have faith in him that even a lot of investors will flock in Zimbabwe, because of his position that he will take in August as the chair of SADC. We have quite a lot of faith in our president that he's going to do well, and other countries, will have faith in us.
He highlighted the success of infrastructure development projects countrywide as a testament of his abilities to steer the country to greater heights.
The current president is doing very well. We saw a lot of changes we applauded him for that. We foresee a lot of change, the way he's pushing.
President Mnangagwa has led the country on a path of sustained growth marked by tangible achievements in transforming livelihoods. Heads of state and government are expected to converge in Harare this August for the 44th SADC Summit, where President Mnangagwa will take over the chairmanship of the regional bloc from his Angolan counterpart, President João Lourenço. Zimbabwe also play host to the SADC Industrialization Week from the 28th of July to the 2nd of August, where the country is set to showcase its economic potential in the region. Yolanda Moore, ZBC News, Obulawayo.
The government has distributed more than 36,000 metric tons of grain to more than 1.6 million vulnerable individuals affected by the El Nino-induced drought countrywide.
Government's quest to assist vulnerable families affected by the El Nino-induced drought is in motion, with more than 36,000 metric tons of grain having been distributed under the Food Deficit Mitigation Strategy. In a media briefing in Harare this Thursday, Public Service, Labour and Social Welfare Minister Honorable July Moyo said a cash for cereal program will also be implemented for the food insecure urban population.
As at 18th June, 36,685 metric tons had been distributed across the 8 provinces to 1,630,448 people. Distribution is still going on using the whole of government approach for the urban population. Following the results of the 2024 ZIMLAC Urban Livelihood Assessment Report, it was indicated that approximately 35% of the urban population will be food insecure, and this translates to 1.7 million people.
Meanwhile, Minister Moyo took the opportunity to give an update on preparations of the 2024 Africa Public Service Day national commemorations to be held on Sunday.
The day serves to remind public servants of their importance as frontiers of service delivery, as they play a key role in addressing our developmental goals. The main celebrations will take place in Mtare this year at Mikkels Park from 21st to 23rd June 2024.
It emerged measures are being put in place to improve the welfare of refugee and asylum seekers as the nation joins the rest of the world in marking World Refugee Day this Thursday. John Nandara, ZBC News, Harare.
And now in a related report, government has upscaled efforts to curb the impact of the El Nino-induced drought in Matabeleland South Province after establishing a livestock drought mitigation center in the Garanyemba area of Gwanda district.
The sight of cattle scavenging for water at a depleted Garanyemba Dam barely 3 months after the rainfall season is a clear indication of a bleak future. This has created anxiety among the people of Matabeleland South who rely on cattle breeding. Government has, however, moved in swiftly to establish a livestock drought mitigation center in Garanyemba to avert the impending effects of drought. The center is expected to save more than 4,000 cattle in the Garanyemba communal lands.
Issues it with Pelili kakhulu edamu ukutota lokho uhulumende asenzele khona sikwamukele kubona kunje. Sesikhalela ukuthi sizaba lokufuya okuhle kakhulu.
Ngathi thina singani singcono silandela usengezana. Kulabavela phansi ekombe kwabasebesikhe esengezana. Inkosi singenele sibili uhulumende wasenzele isibhorana hayi sibonge kakhulu kakhulu.
The pilot project, which has feeding and water troughs for livestock, community nutrition garden, cattle sows pens and deep tanks, has been welcomed by the local leadership.
This is an intervention that came right on time when we're actually having challenges with the water, not only here in Garanyemba, but across the whole constituency, if not Matabeleland South. This is the president's program to see that every community has sufficient water, has enough feed, that is for people, for the livestock.
The intervention will save quite a number of our cattle because already in Matabeleland South, especially Plumtree area, cattle have started dying, even here. So we are saving lives of our people because our people depend 100% on livestock.
The pilot project, which will be replicated across the 1,600 wards in the country, is one of the many interventions meant to build resilience against climate change.
This will enable us to supplementary feed
the cattle on a daily basis, so that in the next 5 months to November, we are able to sustain the livestock in this community. As you can see, the dams are dry. We have 1,620 wards in the rural areas that will then replicate this model, and we hope that we'll be able to do that very rapidly, the resources permitting.
Matabeleland South boasts of a herd of over 600,000 cattle. Providence Maranelli, ZBC News, Gwanda.
Political analysts are convinced the recent utterances by the interim president of the Citizens Coalition for Change, Professor Welshman Ncube, confirm that the opposition party self-destructed in the wake of internal turmoil which rocked the CCC after the August 2023 general elections.
We debated and discussed the issue of the 2018-2023 elections. We resolved that as part of our engagement with government and ZANU-PF as a political player, we should engage them not necessarily on the outcomes of those elections.
The Citizens Coalition for Change CCC leadership conferred in Harare this Wednesday to map the way forward after a bruising 2023 general election. After the elections, the party hogged the limelight with a number of recalls, which left Zimbabwe in perpetual election mode, with financial resources running into millions being spent on by-elections. Political analyst Mr. Lazarus South believes Professor Welshman Ncube's utterances confirm former CCC leader Advocate Nelson Chamisa is now a lone ranger.
The statement by Welshman Ncube is a confirmation that they have parted ways with Nelson Chamisa. The reason why I'm saying so is because he said Nelson Chamisa was responsible for the death of opposition politics in Zimbabwe. According to Welshman Ncube, he destroyed internal democracy in CCC, and because of that, they are now moving and engaging the government in terms of building a relation.
Other political analysts are convinced the move to engage the ZANU-PF-led government confirms that the opposition has come to terms with reality.
Principally, as the opposition, they are weak, and what they need is to come on board and join the cooperative nationalistic orientation of progress and work with ZANU-PF. It is not an admission that they are weak, but it is an admission that alone we cannot do it. So we really need to work together.
Dr. Leopold Chakanyuka stressed that the recent developments confirm there was no third hand in the chaos which rocked the CCC after the elections and culminated in the recall of some legislators from Parliament.
There is an admission that indeed Senator Chabangu is or was part of them. He was a member of the National Executive Council. So I think, and his rise to power to the position of Secretary General came as a result of the strategic ambiguity. And so this puts to rest the claims which were being made in the public that there's a third hand in what was happening in the CCC, and all the recalls that were happening had anything to do with the third hand.
Internal disputes within opposition political parties are not a new phenomenon. Since the formation of the Movement for Democratic Change at the turn of the millennium, more than half a dozen offshoots have emerged due to differences in opinion and lack of ideological clarity. Bruce Chawanda, ZBC News, Harare.
The two courageous young boys who rescued their mother from a crocodile attack in Mondoro early this year are being assisted by the highest office in the country in a move which has also benefited their school. This comes after President Emmerson Mnangagwa sent a delegation to Londoshava Primary School in Mondoro this Wednesday, where an electricity transformer was installed over and above the provision of school fees, uniforms, as well as stationery.
There is nothing as gratifying as the thought of being regarded as a hero, especially when your heroics come with national recognition. This is the story of two children, Lakmoch Kavamombe and Peace Magaya from Mondorongezi, who saved their mother from the jaws of a crocodile early this year. The courageous duo and their school played host to a delegation from the office of the President and Cabinet this Wednesday.
ndobva ndaenda kubasa ndinoona mari dzangu ndobva ndaenda kwavari kunovaonawo chivatendawo handida kungovatenda nezvavari kutiitira dai pasina iwaha zvinhu zvaitonetsawo kuwana saka dangovatenda timaita basa.
President Emmerson Mnangagwa initially made the duo at the State House Harare in March this year, where he offered them education scholarships and $5,000 United States dollars each. The president has gone a step further to donate an electricity transformer, school uniforms and stationery to their school in Mondoro.
Takawana magetsi maticha anga safari wanga kusakwanise kuitawo mafiriji awo kuisa zvinhu zvavo mumafiriji asi pare zvino zvakarongeka.
We are so grateful to the president for realizing the effort by our two young learners, Lucky and Peace, who managed to rescue their parent from a vicious attack of the crocodile.
Directors in the office of the president and cabinet highlighted that the heroic act by the two children, who were aged 12 and 10 at the time of the rescue mission, resembled the courage of freedom fighters during the liberation struggle.
Munoona kuti why vanhu vese vachiti vakatitaurei vanozoka kuchitaura mashoko enyika ndeyekuti nyika yaida vanhu vakadai, inoda vanhu vakadai. Haizodi mbwende. Ava vana ava havana mukavabvunza izvinezvi pamwe vakuona garwe manje, asi musiwo havana kuriona. Ndo zvaidiwa nevamwe vatiri kuti nhasi magamba havana kunyanya kutarisa kuona kuti muvengi akamira sei, vakati taenda ikoko tinosangana naye. Ndo zvakaita vana.
We are here showing the nation, showing the people that the president loves his people. And this is one of the examples that is being exhibited here. That when you are a leader, you must be reachable, you must be approachable, you must be a listening leader.
The Mondoro community is still living in fear, especially those near the crocodile-infested Mangezi River. It is celebrating a life saved by Juo's heroics and community upliftment. Tarema Duyu, ZBC News, Harare.
Well, you never really know when you are going to be the next hero, and there goes your Children of the Year award. The First Lady, Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa's works continue to attract admirers from beyond the country's borders, with her Widows Empowerment Program earning an invitation to the inaugural African Widows Summit in Zanzibar, Tanzania.
First Lady Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa's works in empowering widows and protecting their rights have earned her an invitation to be the special guest speaker at the first of its kind African Widows Summit currently underway in Zanzibar. The life-transforming activities being spearheaded by the First Lady in the lives of widows countrywide through the Angel of Hope Foundation captured the imagination of guests at the summit, with the documentary attracting positive comments and plaudits for Dr. Mnangagwa for her hard work, dedication, and selflessness. Amai Mnangagwa launched Widows Association in Zimbabwe, a platform she is using to make significant contributions towards the empowerment of widows by kickstarting income-generating projects for them and by facilitating workshops on inheritance issues. The initiative has gained her admiration from the continent and beyond, which resulted in her being invited to be the special guest speaker at the African Widows Summit.
Ladies and gentlemen, death happens to all, and no woman should be victimized for losing her spouse. I have always advocated for the inclusion of women and their shift from marginalization and vulnerability to empowerment and bring financial independence. I work with the motivational speakers, and with the aid of partners, I launched the businesses as well as establishing skills training for them. I partnered with one of the open universities in my country to launch free learning, and many widows have taken advantage of this initiative and have started businesses in various projects. This has seen a lot of widows regain self-confidence, and I'm proud to be part of their journey to self-reclamation. Widows are often marginalized and face social stigma, economic hardship, and violence. Many widows struggle to access basic resources such as health care, education, and employment, leaving them vulnerable and at risk of further marginalization. Widows are generally resilient, strong, and hard workers. They are the backbone of our communities, holding families together in the face of adversity and displaying unmatched courage and determination. My office remains committed to implementing holistic solutions, working with the government of Zimbabwe to empower widows and transform their lives. My target areas are mostly the geographically disadvantaged areas where information is not easily accessible. In addition, through initiatives such as Agric for She, this one means agriculture for women only, I continue to advocate for comprehensive land rights, ensuring that widows inherit land and break the cycle of poverty.
Dignitaries, including First Lady of Zanzibar, Madame Mariam Mwinyi, were inspired by Dr. Mnangagwa's works, expressing willingness to emulate them in their home countries. They lauded her for being a people's person who has a non-selective approach.
That was very inspiring. First of all, for her to be involved with widows' issues, which is, I would say, is around Africa. We share the same challenges, we share same problems. So we have seen how she has embarked herself into helping the widows. What a blessing. I would say congratulations to her.
When I saw the First Lady from Zimbabwe, it was amazing because this is a woman that I read, news that have to do with Zimbabwe, the things she's doing with women, and of course with the people of the country. So I read about it, and it was amazing to get to see her today. That's what, First Ladies should do. Connect with the people, the local people, know what it is that they're doing, find out how you can actually get to appeal to their conscience.
Also high on the agenda was the issue of social stigma faced by widows and how they are forced to endure harmful practices, as alluded to by various delegates, including Tanzanian former First Lady, Madame Anna Mkapa, and spouse to Kenyan Vice President, Pastor Dorcas Rigati.
In yet some other African countries, widows are forced to endure harmful tradition practices if they want to be accepted. Such practices include widow cleansing, where a widow is expected to have sex with a male relative or even a stranger to cleanse her from her husband's spirit. This practice can be widows at risk, sexually transmitted infections, unwanted pregnancies, and other health problems.
It's time to reform the African space and make widows to thrive in all spheres of life. We must come up with policy framework that gives them safety net together with their children.
The summit, which is being held under the theme Women in Widowhood, Reforming the African Spaces, was attended by widows, experts in gender issues, representatives from UN and African Union, and other foreign dignitaries. Colette Msanyera, ZBC News, Zanzibar.
Or remember, for these and other stories, log on to our website at www.zbcnews.co.zw. You can also interact with us on our social media handles on X and on Facebook. We are at ZBC News Online. Also, subscribe to our channels on YouTube and WhatsApp at ZBC News Online.
And now for stories still to come. 17 suspects arrested for Rosa 10 mine attack. In sport, Zimbabwe Cricket believes new Chevron's coach Justin Salmons has what it takes to nurture talent. We'll take a short break. Stay with us.
Why is pizza in Zimbabwe's favorite? must be the pizza.
Must be the perfectly kneaded dough.
The thick and rich pizza sauce.
Must even be the fresh and delicious toppings.
The soft and tasty mozzarella cheese.
All oven baked to make the perfect combination of mouth-watering pizza.
But it doesn't end there. At Pizza Inn, we're big on more. More pizzas, more extras, and more sharing.
With our delicious range of crowd-pleasing favorites, you'll have plenty to share with him or them, and even those guys. Share the fun with Zimbabwe's favorite.
Pizza Inn must be the pizza. This is the currency we've been waiting for. A currency that's not just paper and coins, but a symbol of Zimbabwe's rich resources and stability. That's Zimbabwe Gold. This is ZIG. Let's dive into what makes ZIG not just a new currency, but a new beginning for Zimbabwe's economy. ZIG is born out of a blend of traditional and innovative financial wisdom, anchored in gold and precious metals, along with foreign currency reserves. This backing isn't just for show, it's a promise of stability and trust, ensuring that ZIG's value is as solid as the gold it's pegged to. From the bustling markets of Harare to the serene landscapes of rural Zimbabwe, ZIG is set to become the medium of exchange that's both reliable and accessible, with denominations ranging from ZIG 200 to ZIG 1 and even handy coins. It caters to every transaction, big or small. Transitioning to ZIG is a breeze. It's all about inclusivity, ensuring no one is left behind in Zimbabwe's financial renaissance. ZIG doesn't walk alone. It co-circulates with other foreign currencies under Zimbabwe's multi-currency system, enriching our financial landscape. It's a legal tender that not only simplifies transactions, but also restores confidence in our economy, promising a future where stability and growth go hand in hand. So why ZIG? Because it's more than just money. It's a symbol of Zimbabwe's resilience, a step towards an economy where stability is the norm, and every Zimbabwean can look forward to a prosperous future. Welcome to the era of Zimbabwe Gold, where our currency is our pride.
Trust Academy, an associate of Chinhoyi University of Technology, is enrolling for June Intake 2024. You join with 5 O-levels and choose from customer service, transport and logistics, tourism and hospitality, events management, data analytics, monitoring and evaluation, cyber security, procurement and supply chain, and project management. We offer both online and face-to-face interactive learning. Upon completion of these diplomas, you can pursue a degree with Chinhoyi University of Technology. For more information, contact us on our WhatsApp number 0775 690 007. Visit our campuses at number 52 4th Street between 3rd and 4th Avenue in Bulawayo. And in Harare, we are at number 40 Livingstone Avenue. Visit our website www.trustacademy.ac.zw. Trust Academy, a training for excellence.
That's it. The regular football season is over.
What?
Yes, it's over.
Oh no!
But not for us here at Supersport. We've got a big deal coming your way.
Sorry, that's actually a pretty big deal.
Catch all 51 games of Euro 2024. Stay connected to DSTV to watch all the action on Supersport.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. 3 people were injured and property worth thousands of dollars destroyed after a gang of 17 men went on a rampage at Rossitten Mine in Chiweshe on Tuesday. Tapiwa Machemedze gives us more.
The attack at Rosa 10, a gold mine in Chiweshe, left a trail of destruction with goods worth thousands of United States dollars being lost. Mine workers allege neighboring mine operator Stuart Gombera instigated the attack to take over their mining space.
Whited vakahaya vanhu kubva kuchitungwiza nekushamba nemazowe vachida kuuya kuzorwisa vanhu vari murosa 10 nenyaya yemuganhu watikangeta vari kumaina vari muno murosa 10 muno pasi pamugodhi pane vanhu vaitoshandapo vaikanda mahora nemapetrol bomb nematombo vachitema kusvika vatopisa kompresa nemaheadgear ese
wakanda mabhomba vaigadzira umhiru paakanonovhara hora revha radambura ruoko vamanyowa kuchipatara nguva idiki vatanza kuti pano mufana futi atasi akuva radambura ruoko 1 headgear ndoratasara naro tutoti ndonokwanisa kudzikisa vanhu pasi nokubudisa nokuendesa pasi but hatichakwanisa kushana kuti michini isi yatasi yafa isikavheta hombe yacho yakapwanywa magirasi achisina magirasi marura acho aitemwa magirasi imba chaiyo yakapwanywa.
Mashonaland Central Police spokesperson Inspector Milton Mundembe confirmed the arrest of 17 suspects after 3 people were injured during the attack. The injured include Simbarashi Chihono, who lost his wrist, Hilary Parudzai, who has wrist injuries, and Tanyara Zwarusengu, who sustained head injuries.
We appeal to members of the public to respect the sanctity of life and protect the property. We totally discourage the act of indulging in public violence, in this case through the abuse of explosives, to maim innocent lives and destroy property. 17 suspects have been arrested. In this regard, we urge members of the public to approach the courts.
The injured were taken to Bindura Provincial Hospital where they are receiving treatment, while the total cost of destroyed property is still being assessed. Tapiwa Machemedze, ZBC News, Mazowe.
We now cross over to our Montreal studios where we are joined by Sibukele Maposa. It's over to you, Sibukele, and good evening.
Thank you very much, Justin and Chadi. Good evening, Zimbabwe. Let's carry on with the bulletin. Government is confident most local authorities will meet the June 30 deadline to submit their master plans, although there are concerns over Harare and Chitungwiza.
Government's quest to assist vulnerable families affected by the El Nino-induced drought is in motion, with more than 36,000 metric tons of grain having been distributed under the food deficit mitigation strategy. In a media briefing in Harare this Thursday, Public Service, Labour and Social Welfare Minister Honorable Julai Moyo said a cash for cereal program will also be implemented for the food insecure urban population.
As at 18th June, 36,685 metric tons had been distributed across the 8 provinces to 1,630,448 people. Distribution is still going on using the whole of government approach for the urban population. Following the results of the 2024 ZIMLAC Urban Livelihood Assessment Report, it was indicated that approximately 35% of the urban population will be food insecure, and this translates to 1.7 million people.
Meanwhile, Minister Moyo took the opportunity to give an update on preparations of the 2024 Africa Public Service Day national commemorations to be held on Sunday.
The day serves to remind public servants of their importance as frontiers of service delivery, as they play a key role in addressing our developmental goals. The main celebrations will take place in Mtare this year at Mikkels Park from 21st to 23rd June 2024.
It emerged measures are being put in place to improve the welfare of refugee and asylum seekers as the nation joins the rest of the world in marking World Refugee Day this Thursday. John Nandara, ZBC News, Harare.
While government right there has distributed more than 36,000 metric tons of grain to more than 6.6 million vulnerable individuals affected by the El Nino-induced drought countrywide. And with that, we come to the end of this news bulletin. Update from Montreal Studios, now handing back to Pockets Hill, where Tari and Justin will take us through the rest of the bulletin. Good evening.
Thank you so much, Sibukele. Now, government is confident most local authorities will meet the June 30 deadline to submit master plans, although there are concerns over Harare and Chitungwiza. The details.
President Emerson Mnangagwa launched the local authorities service delivery blueprint in November last year as part of efforts to improve service delivery and accountability. Among other deliverables, local authorities were tasked to submit master plans to government by end of this month and to implement urban renewal programs. Speaking on the sidelines of a familiarization tour of the Victoria Falls urban renewal programs this Thursday, local government and public works minister Honorable Daniel Garwe said government is pleased with progress made so far.
I'm happy to report that the majority of our local authorities are meeting the deadline. We are here in Victoria Falls. The meeting yesterday to finalize on the master plan and the evaluation roles, which they already finished. But the majority of the local authorities are going to be meeting the 30 June deadline.
It has, however, emerged Harare and Chitungwiza are lagging behind.
The only councils that have seemed to be having serious challenges, and these are challenges that are born out of delinquency, challenges that are born out of incompetence and inefficiency, is Harare and Chitungwiza. And we have got a different approach now in how we can deal with Harare and Chitungwiza.
The city of Victoria Falls noted progress in drawing the tourism capital's master plan.
We're almost done with the master plan. We did our written statement yesterday, and our master plan was overwhelmingly adopted by our residents and stakeholders. What is left for now is that we have to have the master plan adopted by council.
The blueprint is the initial step towards urban renewal and improved service delivery. Hence, compliance is non-negotiable. Tichaona Kurewa, ZBC News, Victoria Falls.
The government has approved the rehabilitation of the 120-kilometre Bulawayo Old Gwanda Road.
Launched at a dinner held in Bulawayo Wednesday night, the project will be implemented by Zwane Construction Company. The firm's chief executive officer, engineer Begitemba Mbambo, revealed that 150 million United States dollars will be invested in the rehabilitation of Old Gwanda Road as well as Mchabezi Bridge in Gwanda.
This is the second national project here to upgrade the Old Gwanda Road from a dirt road, almost impassable, to a super modern highway. Generally, the road as a project has resonated with Abantu, the corridor, the Old Gwanda Road corridor.
Vice President Comrade Kembo Mohadi, who was represented by Permanent Secretary in his office, Dr. Benson Dube, said the project is part of government's thrust on infrastructure development using local contractors.
Indeed, a great delight for me to join you all on this celebratory dinner dance to commemorate the approval of the Old Gwanda Road project by Cabinet. Indeed, this is a significant milestone deserving the notice of all of us. This great visionary initiative and effort marks a crucial step towards unlocking the economic potential of the Old Gwanda Road corridor. The construction of the road will bring with it the following. Number one, enhanced connectivity and accessibility. Number two, increased trade and commerce. Number three, a boost to tourism and hospitality. Number four, the creation of jobs and stimulation of local economies. And number five, improved equality of life for surrounding communities.
The project, set to commence in August, is expected to be completed within 12 months.
The Second Republic's drive to ensure universal health coverage is on course, with 4 modern health facilities set to be constructed across the country.
The second phase of the government's program to construct 30 modern health centers, which have a bed capacity of 22, has started with pegging and sinking of boreholes at the 4 sites. The 4 health centers include Maniza in Chikomba District of Mashonaland East Province, Rudanda in Saka District of Masvingo Province, Paradza in Chivu District of Mashonaland East, and Lady Stanley in Vulilima District of Matebeleland South Province.
Kufarira
kuyakwa ita chipatara ichi kuti chivake kuno kubhozi tine kamuka health post karipo but kaingobatsirawo zvimwe zvirwere zvidiki-diki.
Sine kukuthokoza lokubonga okukhulu kakhulu kubo laba basilethele ubuhle bonobo bungaka ngoba lobu yibuhle obukhulu kakhulu.
Permanent Secretary for Health and Childcare, Dr. Aspect Maunganidze, is convinced increased accessibility to healthcare facilities will reduce the burden on referral hospitals.
Through the NMS agreement with the government, we are 35 hospitals are supposed to be built in Zimbabwe, starting with 30, which we call mini hospitals. I think you are aware of Stone Ridge, Cowdrey Park. We've already finished Mataga in Berengo and Runyararo in Chimanimani.
The health facilities will be constructed under a 2019 contract agreement entered into by government and the United Kingdom-based company NMS Infrastructure Limited.
These are state-of-the-art clinics. This particular operation we have here is now in the stage of geological survey. We've already done the hydrological survey and a borehole has already been drilled on this site. Once the geological survey is finished, which is imminent, we're expecting to be on this site digging holes and making a new clinic starting in about 3 to 4 weeks.
Under the first phase of the program, 4 22-bed health centers were constructed in Stone Ridge, Harare, Mataga in Berengwa, Cowdrey Park in Bulawayo, and Runyararo in Chimanimani. The new health facilities are part of government efforts towards attaining universal health coverage as the country targets an upper middle income society by 2030. Memory Chamisa, ZBC News, Bulilima.
Still on health news, drug and substance abuse has emerged as a major threat to the fight against HIV and AIDS amid revelations that addicts are more likely to contract the virus.
Latest statistics from the National AIDS Council NAC indicate that drug users are 29 times likely to contract HIV as compared to other individuals. The statistics were released at the ongoing NAC Editors Workshop in Chinhoyi this Thursday.
Drug and substance use is now a topical issue in the community because it's really affecting the quality of life for those who use and for those who are affected by drug use.
NAC also confirmed that more girls and young women are infected with the virus compared to their male counterparts.
According to the latest HIV estimates that we have at the moment, we have around 1,700 new infections, of which more than 80% of these new infections were reported among adolescent girls and young women. And in terms of addressing these issues, in terms of our vulnerability and reducing the risk of infection, the country is implementing various interventions. Among these, we have the DREAM program, which is implemented, funded by several funding partners, including PEPFAR.
Zimbabwe has, however, made notable strides in the fight against HIV, with the country surpassing the World Health Organization 95-95-95 target by 2025.
Zimbabwe has achieved key milestones in its response, including the reduction of both HIV incidence and prevalence over the years from 0.53% in 2016 to 0.47% in 2023, 13.6% in 2016 to 11% in 2023, respectively.
As it stands, 96% of HIV-positive people know their status in Zimbabwe, 99% are on antiretroviral therapy, and 96% have their viral load suppressed.
And now to news from beyond our borders. The United Nations High Commission for Refugees has called for concerted efforts to resolve the conflict in war-torn Sudan, where over 10 million people have been displaced.
United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees Filippo Grandi has noted that civilians dominate the casualties in the conflict, which broke out in April last year. According to the latest data from the United Nations Agency, International Organization for Migration, more than 10 million people have been displaced due to the persistent conflict, with over 2 million fleeing to neighboring countries such as Chad, South Sudan, and Egypt. Data from the UN shows the deadly clashes in Sudan have claimed more than 15,000 lives and have left millions of Sudanese at imminent risk of famine.
At least 30 cholera-related deaths have been reported in Nigeria this year as the rainfall season intensifies, triggering widespread concerns among the populace. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention, NCDC, says a total of 65 confirmed cases out of over 1,000 suspected cases of cholera have been reported across 96 local government areas in 30 states since January. The Nigerian government and the NCDC say they are intensifying efforts to combat the disease through case management and water sanitation initiatives.
China has voiced firm opposition to a recent United States decision to sanction Chinese firms over the so-called Russian involvement. In a media briefing, Chinese Ministry of Commerce spokesperson Heng Yadong said the sanctions have no basis in international law. He added the move is a typical act of unilateral bullying and economic cohesion, which China firmly opposes, calling on the U.S. to immediately stop its unreasonable suppression of Chinese companies. In early May, the U.S. imposed sanctions on more than 20 Chinese companies over the impasse between Russia and Ukraine.
With that, we break for business. Stay tuned.
In today's fast-paced world, paying in Zig is not just about exchanging physical cash. It's about tapping into the electronic payment space, where convenience meets technology. On Zimbabwe's stable, safe, sound, and efficient national payment system, experience seamless transactions at your fingertips, anytime, anywhere. Join the future of payments today with Zig. Secure, reliable, effortless. Pay the smart way. Pay with Zig.
Why is pizza in Zimbabwe's favorite? Must be the pizza.
Must be the perfectly kneaded dough.
The thick and rich pizza sauce.
Must even be the fresh and delicious toppings.
The soft and tasty mozzarella cheese.
All oven baked to make the perfect combination of mouth-watering pizza.
But it doesn't end there. At Pizza Inn, we're big on more. More pizzas, more extras, and more sharing.
With our delicious range of crowd-pleasing favorites, you'll have plenty to share with him or them, and even those guys. Share the fun with Zimbabwe's favorite.
Pizza Inn. Must be the pizza.
Life is beautiful. Soft care. So fit, so right.
Zimbabwe's mining legacy is a story etched deep in our soil. It's a tale of hard work, resilience, and human ingenuity in unearthing riches and building a nation. This commitment to progress continues as mining industry players continue to unlock the vast potential of our mineral reserves, driving economic transformation through innovation, mineral beneficiation, and value addition. Are you ready to be part of the next chapter? Explore cutting-edge advancements and discover endless opportunities in Zimbabwe's expanding mining value chains at the 27th edition of Mine Entra, taking place from July 17 to 19, 2024 at the Zimbabwe International Exhibition Center in Bulawayo. Register via our website www.zitf.co.zw. Mine Entra 2024, unearthing success, the mining value chains, innovation and industrialization nexus.
Every morning deserves a smart start. Nestle Ceravita. Highly nutritious, simply delicious.
In the heart of Zimbabwe, where the sun kisses the earth, lies a world of endless opportunity.
Here, amidst the vibrant colors and lively exchanges, the spirit of abundance lives. Allow yourself the opportunity to connect and innovate. See the future of your business at the 114th edition of the Zimbabwe Agricultural Show.
Filled with ideas, new and radical, that are cultivating prosperity, growing business, innovating for change, and nurturing our future. From agriculture to agribusiness, and from agricultural education to agri-tourism, every sector finds a place to flourish here, where companies unveil their latest innovations and network with current and potential markets. SAS 2024, where the future of all business sectors is being written today.
Welcome back. It's now time for business news. The Dinson Iron and Steel plant in Manize is now operational with the production of pig iron in full swing. We get more on the steel plant, which is said to be one of the biggest steel producers in Africa, from Tafara Chikumira, who was in Manize this Thursday.
We are here at the Dinson Iron and Steel plant, where we are witnessing history in the making, as pig iron is already coming out of the blast furnaces behind me, which is a key ingredient in the production of steel. The company is taking a phased approach in its operationalization, with the production of steel expected to start as early as next month.
This June, that's when we started producing the pig iron. And we are saying July, we were also starting to produce the steel billets. Then sometime in October, that's when we will also be starting producing the rebars. So actually the blast furnace and each and every component are now running.
Government is excited about the economic benefits to be accrued from the steel plant once all the phases are completed.
It's a process which started in 2018, which is seeing the first stage of fruition with this production of pig iron, which will see several other stages getting to a $5 billion steel industry here. We have seen the model housing units they are building for this, for farmers, for families who were affected by this. And again, more importantly, is to underline that this is a typical value addition success model.
Dinson Iron and Steel Company is a subsidiary of the global steel-making giant Tingsan Holdings. The plant has brought life to Manize area, including through employment creation, and is billed to become one of the largest steel producers on the continent. The plant, which is being set up in phases, will see the company producing 600,000 tons of steel upon completion of the first phase, which will jump to 5 million tons once all the phases have been completed. Tafaraj Kumira, ZBC News, Manize.
The latest Zimbabwe competitiveness report has indicated the need for the country to use natural resources, skilled labor, and embrace favorable business policies to attract external and local investors.
The report released to captains of industry and commerce this Thursday shows that Zimbabwe is formulating policies meant to position the economy as a favorable destination for investors. National Competitiveness Commission Director Mr. Brighton Shianewako says ongoing business reforms are crucial in restoring investor confidence.
It's important that one of the major findings which we found in the report is that our GDP growth is anchored on primary commodity industry. Basically, you're looking at your mining and agriculture. What is important for us now as a nation is to value addition the raw materials which are coming up from the agricultural sector, and also to beneficiation of our minerals.
By Zimbabwe General Manager Mr. Alois Borusa highlighted the importance of taking advantage of the country's natural resources to attract investors.
We need to ensure that government
takes the lead in terms of supporting local companies, in terms of buying from our local companies, because that would then create a good starting base for our local companies that would then lead to our local companies increasing their production levels.
Government has since reaffirmed a commitment to addressing challenges cited by the report.
What we have done is to now work on an action and implementation program to improve our competitiveness.
Takeaways from the report include positive trends in the country's gross domestic product, a positive current account balance, productive efficiency, among other positives. The report notes authorities should guard against inflation, exchange rate volatility, high costs of borrowings, and multiple exchange rates. Stanley James, ZBC News, Harare.
More projects are lined up for electricity generation in the country as demand for power by industry and commerce continues to rise.
A national electrification strategy meeting held in Harare this Wednesday reviewed expansion projects by industry and commerce, coupled with increased real estate investments, are driving demand for electricity in Zimbabwe. With the commissioning of the Wange 7 and 8 generation units stabilizing supply, focus is on how Zimbabwe can further enhance access to energy countrywide. Government says that the universal access to electricity will depend on attracting local and external investors in the energy supply chain.
As the ministry, we are looking forward to about 85 megawatts of power coming in from solar before the end of this year, and an additional 50 megawatts coming in from thermal, which is being done by Manize. So we are seeing more projects being driven by the public sector, and next year we envisage another 100 megawatts coming through, which is also driven by end users.
With the statistics showing that Zimbabwe's electricity access rate stands at 50%, licensed independent power producers have been urged to ensure their projects become a reality.
We believe one of the mindset changes that should come out of independent power producers is not to try and rely on power purchase agreements with power supply entities. They need to look at the wider market, and particularly the market that is being created under the Southern African Power Pool as the target for the energy that they produce. If they do that, they'll then produce energy both for the country in which they are resident, as well as supply other customers outside Zimbabwe itself.
Development partners have reaffirmed a commitment to finance power generation projects in Zimbabwe.
There is huge potential, and it fits into the commitment and targets of the World Bank. But every electrification, every big adventure and the project starts with planning and with strategy. And this is exactly what we're doing here.
Zimbabwe's electricity value chains are being cited by energy experts as key in achieving National Development Strategy 1 aspirations. Stanley James, ZBC News, Harare.
Next, we take a look at sport, but we first take a break.
The Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe announces a new initiative to ensure sufficient local currency in circulation. Starting June 10, swipe for Zig Cash at any HomeLink branch using your debit or credit card. Available in your Zig denominations 1, 2, 5, and 10 Zig. You can exchange your foreign currency for Zig Cash at the prevailing interbank exchange rate. The Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe is ensuring that adequate Zig Cash is available for all, be it in public transportation, retailers, informal traders, and other key stakeholders. For more information, visit your nearest HomeLink branch. Thank you.
That's it. The regular football season is over.
What?
Yes, it's over.
Oh no!
But not for us here at Supersport. We've got a big deal coming your way.
Sorry, that's actually a pretty big deal.
Catch all 51 games of Euro 2024. Stay connected to DSTV to watch all the action on SuperSport.
Why is pizza in Zimbabwe's favorite? Must be the pizza.
Must be the perfectly kneaded dough.
The thick and rich pizza sauce.
Must even be the fresh and delicious toppings.
The soft and tasty mozzarella cheese.
All oven baked to make the perfect combination of mouth-watering pizza.
But it doesn't end there. At Pizza Inn, we're big on more. More pizzas, more extras, and more sharing.
With our delicious range of crowd-pleasing favorites, you'll have plenty to share with him or them, and even those guys. Share the fun with Zimbabwe's favorite.
Pizza Inn. Must be the pizza.
Zimbabwe Cricket believes new Chevrons coach Justin Summons, who was appointed this Wednesday, is the best man to nurture emerging talent. Our first look at sport.
Summons was named as Chevron's head coach this Wednesday and will be assisted by former national team opening batsman Dion Ibrahim. Summons' appointment comes 6 months after Jeff Wharton stepped down after Zimbabwe failed to qualify for the 2024 T20 World Cup, which is currently underway in the United States of America and the West Indies. Summons was South Africa's betting consultant for 3 years, left the role in February last year. He never played international cricket, but had a long club career in South Africa and the Netherlands. Summons made his name nurturing talent at the South Africa High Performance Center, and he moved on to the senior national team where he was credited for shaping the likes of Dean Elgar, Turnus de Bruyne, Rassi van der Tuzen, Temba Bavuma, Kaya Zondo, and Henry Klassen, among others. With such a record, Zimbabwe Cricket believes he'll do well with a young side as Craig Evan, Sean Williams, and Sikandar Raza are now at the twilight of their careers. In a statement, Zimbabwe Cricket said he brings a wealth of coaching experience and a reputation of identifying, nurturing, and developing some of the best young talent in South Africa. His hard work and passionate approach, as well as sense of values on and off the pitch, make him the ideal person to take us forward. Close quote. A cricket expert, Dean du Plessis, is however not getting carried away by the appointment.
An interesting situation, Justin Summons coming into the side. I mean, I know that he did some behind-the-scenes work with the Proteas from 2021 to 2023, but it wasn't very high-profile work. But, you know, he was there. In fact, I think he was also interim batting coach at some point.
Summons' first assignment will be a 5-match T20 series against India from the 6th of July in Harare. He takes over a side evidently on a low point, having missed 3 out of the last 4 World Cups, and will have to go through a qualifying tournament for the 2026 T20 World Cup. Lawrence Trosida, ZBC News, Harare.
The Zimbabwean national rugby team, the Sables, take on Zambia in Lusaka this Saturday as they kickstart their preparations for the 2024 Rugby Africa World Cup.
The Sables will seek to go neighbor Zambia at the Lusaka Rugby Ground this Saturday as they begin their preparations for the 2024 Rugby Africa Cup. The continent's premier competition will be held in Uganda from the 18th to the 29th of July. Zimbabwe have been holding periodic camps in preparation for the Africa Cup as they hope to mount a serious title challenge. Head coach Pete Bernard has infused youthful talent with battle-hardened stars as he looks to shake up things for the Sables. The young players who were part of the all-conquering under-20 national rugby side are eager to make a mark.
The practice has actually been a little bit tough since I came back from the United States. Started off with the field sessions and the gym as well. We had a really good gym session today and it was really tough. As you can see, the boys are really tired. But I'm pretty sure that it will actually really pay off because hard work really pays off later on.
What's coming, they're not prepared for it because we are coming for it all. And we're going to win whatever it takes, we're going to win.
According to the draw conducted by Rugby Africa, 8 teams will face off in a quarter-final format with the best 4 going through to the semi-finals. Zimbabwe will face Uganda while Namibia take on Burkina Faso. Kenya battle Senegal and Algeria face off Cote d'Ivoire in matches to be played on the 20th of July. The last edition of the Rugby Africa Cup was held in 2022 when it served as a qualifier for the 2023 Rugby World Cup. Namibia won the 2022 edition, beating Kenya in the final to qualify for the World Cup in France, while Zimbabwe were disappointing third. Lawrence Troseda, ZBC News, Harare.
We conclude with soccer, where informed Kasolaga Premier Soccer League leaders FC Platinum will face a stern test of character when they host equally impressive Simba Bora at Mandava Stadium this Saturday.
The Kasolaga Premier Soccer League top-of-the-table clash between FC Platinum and Simba Bora has all the ingredients of a sumptuous football meal prepared by tacticians Norman Mapeza and Tondera Ndiraya. In their pre-match flyers, the FC Platinum family has branded Saturday's encounter set for Mandava Stadium Clash of Tacticians. Without a shade of doubt, the Mapeza coach side has done an amazing job winning 4 games and drawing once in their previous 5 league encounters, leaving them at the summit of the log standings. On the other hand, Shamva-based Simba Bora have also been in good form, losing once in their last 5 matches. Mapeza is known for his love for total football that is easy on the eye, while Tondera Ndiraya prefers the pragmatic approach with his teams not easy to break down.
I don't think it's that their position or our position will put us under pressure. Look, for us to be where we are, it means we've been winning our games. It means we've been winning our games, and what will be the objective? If people win our games, is to push up. It's push up. So I'm sure, like I always say, they will come here with the same mentality, with the same objective. That is to come here and go to work with a positive result. That would be exactly what we're looking for.
Log leaders FC Platinum have 31 points from 15 matches, while Simba Bora are third with 27 points.
We now give you the weather report.
Thank you for joining us. It is time for your evening weather report and focus. My name is Benjamin Kwaramba. Well, slight ground frost was reported over Matopos, Henderson, Nyanga, Marondera, as well as weather areas in the early hours of today. Meanwhile, in the satellite images received this afternoon, they show mostly clear skies over Zimbabwe, but a touch of cloud over the southern tip of the country there. Tomorrow, again, we expect clear skies across the country. It should be very cold in the morning, becoming mild to warm later. Expect some brief, partly cloudy periods over Matabeleland, South Masvingo, and the southern parts of Manicaland, and it should be windy. Now, for the temperatures in detail, the capital city Harare expect a minimum of 8 and a maximum of 23 degrees Celsius. Kobulawayo 5 and 24, Gweru 4 and 24 degrees Celsius, Mutare 8 and 23, Kwekwe 5 and 26, Kadoma with 4 and 26 degrees Celsius, Masvingo starting off 4 in the morning, 24 maximum, Chinoi 7 and 25, Lupane 5 and 28, Bindura 8 and 24 degrees Celsius, Marondera 5 and 23, 5 and 25 is expected at Gwanda. Victoria Falls starting off 7, 26 maximum, Kariba 12 and 29, Great Zimbabwe 4 and 24, Nyanga 2 and 18, very cold conditions over the Nyanga area, Matopos 4 and 23, Chimanimani 7 and 20 degrees Celsius. Day after tomorrow, again, mostly clear skies across the country, but of course over Matabeleland, South Masvingo and southern parts of Manicaland, brief cloudy periods are expected, and it should be windy in places. Well, that does it in tonight's edition of the Weather Report and Focus. Let's make a date again tomorrow at the same time. Good evening, Zimbabwe.
And with that, we've come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. I'm Tari Romanamike.
And I'm Justin Mahlahla, and from the rest of the crew, good night.
Good night.